Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So, Emanuel Navarrete and Robson Canceicao fight to a majority draw. Two of the judges had it 113, 113. That's exactly what I had it. The scores, as the scores suggest, there were two knockdowns. One was in the fourth round, two knockdowns in favour of Navarrete. In the fourth round, Navarrete landed, I guess you'd call it a hybrid left hook come uppercut on the side of Conceicao's face. Probably did clip him on the jaw. There was a delayed reaction because Conceicao sort of tried to manoeuvre himself out of the way. Navarrete fired, I think, a three-punch salvo, but all the punches missed. But nevertheless, Conceicao went down and took a knee. Almost. I think it was a delayed reaction. Certainly a legitimate knockdown. And in the seventh round, Conceicao was on the floor again. He backed off to the ropes. There was a very big single punch. It was just a big swooping right hook to, it looked like the floating rib. And down goes Conceicao. There's no doubt at all that Emanuel Navarrete had the heavier hands. He's just, every time he landed, he was rattling Conceicao. But let's get one thing straight here. This was a draw, majority draw. The absolute titanic effort of Robson Canceicao, Olympic gold medalist, 35 years of age. This was his third attempt at a professional world title. The titanic effort cannot be overstated, because Emanuel Navarrete would have knocked out almost any other contender, and Conceicao earned this draw like no one's ever earned anything. I mean, hopefully there's a rematch, because Conceicao's effort, he was landing by far the greater volume of punches. I think he landed, the punch stats can be very deceptive, but he landed twice as many punches as Navarrete. Certainly threw double. He threw about 840 punches, and I think it was double what Navarrete threw. But at the end of the fight, Navarrete had some very minor sort of abrasions on his face. But Conceicao was the one with the bloody nose, the bloody mouth, a big cut, I think, on the bridge of his nose. I mean, he was busted up. Not really dramatically, but there were swellings. Clearly the heavier hands were coming from Navarrete. Now, when the fight started, Navarrete did what he always does. He started quite slowly. I gave the first 3 rounds to Conceicao because Navarrete was coming forward. In the second and third round, you got the impression he was going through the gears, landing these huge swooping hooks that he does. Terrifically entertaining fight to Navarrete. But Conceicao was fighting him at his own game. He was firing, standing there, refusing to back off. He was, commanding the centre of the ring. He had a very high guard, which was exposing his body. And I was thinking, if he gets whacked to the body, that's going to sap his energy. It might even put him on the floor. And sure enough, it did in the seventh round. Just that one big right hook to the body. But Navarrete was, even though Conceicao won the first 3 rounds, you got the feeling Navarrete's going through the gears here. Now, in the fourth round, when he knocked him down, I think it was Timothy Bradley on commentary said, "Oh, the end is near." But the fifth round was won by Conceicao, just as the eighth round was won by Conceicao, the following round from another knockdown. So Conceicao was coming back brilliantly. I mean, he really was. It was an unbelievably courageous, tough performance. But there's no doubt that Navarrete, had he sort of upped the volume, the output, I think he would have probably got Conceicao out of there. And he was sort of firing punches, really putting the heat on in the last 20 or 30 seconds of most rounds. But that wasn't enough to really win some of those rounds, because I think if you do what I always do, which is I break a round down into 3 segments, it's almost like 3 little fights, the first minute, the second minute and the third minute. Very often, after 2 minutes, I had Conceicao winning the round, and then Navarrete would come on strong, but you can't forget what's gone before. So I do understand why two judges had it 113, 113, as I did. I think the whoever it was scoring for the broadcast I watched had it 114, 112 to Navarrete, and that's what the third judge had it. But this was a close fight with two. I know that it's almost like you're almost sitting on the fence when you say, what do you like? But this was one of those fights where you could say that. You could actually say that. Conceicao down twice, got a draw, deserved it thoroughly. In the 11th round, at the end of the 11th round, Conceicao was on such wobbly legs. Do you know, I had a flashback to when I watched it live. It was when Michael Watson was injured against Chris Eubank in 1991, I think it was. And he sort of staggered out for the final round, and I thought, blimey, what's the doctor needs to have a look at Conceicao, because it was just exhaustion. He sort of tottered back to his corner and was sat down on his stool by his team. But he came out for the 12th round and did well. I mean, the guy just running on empty, wouldn't quit. Navarrete, again, probably Navarrete will be the one that's got more regrets, because he'll think, if I'd up the ante, if I'd up the output, I perhaps could have got him out there. I could have certainly won more rounds, because he was hurting Conceicao. But Conceicao fought him at his own game. Maybe that's what contained him. Maybe that surprised Navarrete. I don't know. But this has got Rematch written all over it. This was for Navarrete's WBO World Super Featherweight title. But Conceicao, that was his third bite of the cherry. He deserves a fourth. He's a tremendous fighter, but he needs to get checked out because that was such a gruelling fight. We don't want any sort of damage to the guy, permanent damage. He is 35. Navarrete from Mexico is 28 now. He's in his prime. Actually, Conceicao went to three Olympics, so he might have stayed amateur a bit too long, perhaps. But I don't know. I mean, what a tremendous effort. Two terrific fighters. Very, very entertaining fight. Very entertaining. Loved it. Totally absorbing watching it. See, who's going to come out on top? Isn't it? In actual fact, neither of them did. And a draw. I ain't got a problem with a draw. Draw is probably a fair result. So anyway, did you see this fight? Really entertaining. Tell me what you think of it. Tell me who you thought won, or do you think a draw was fair? Which style do you prefer, the heavier hands of Navarrete or the industry and the output of Conceicao? Let me know what your feelings are. And yeah, obviously, as always, thanks for your time. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Let's get those numbers up. And, I love doing the videos, love reading your comments. I'll catch you later, and bye for now.